I got the idea from What Matters to Me from going to the National Quality Conference in Paris 2 years ago, and I saw Maureen Bizignano speak, and she asked, why don't we change from asking what's the matter to what matters to you? So I went home back to my ward in a District General Paediatric ward in Paisley and thought, wait a minute, we can just do this right now. We can just ask what matters to our patients. So I had already introduced huddles in that ward, so I had a wee huddle and said to the doctors that were on, right, today on the ward round we're going to ask what matters to our patients rather than what's the matter. And they were laughing at me, saying, oh, they're just going to say their Xbox or their Wi-Fi or whatever. And actually none of them said that. They said all sorts of different things that we hadn't actually thought of, and it just confirmed for me that we assume what matters to kids. Quickly after that, tried a What Matters to Me poster, and I remember I think the first patient we did it on was a wee girl called Jade with cystic fibrosis, and she was about 5 at the time, and she did a great poster of what mattered to her was the nurses smiling, the doctors making her laugh. I can't remember all the things that were on it, but she did a great poster, and after that we just thought, well, we'll do this with all the kids that are old enough to write. They can do a poster. So we just started doing that, and I was there every day making sure that that was getting done every day. So it was an expectation. Why have they not got What Matters to Me?
What Matters to Me is child-centred. It's all about the child. It's what's important to the child, what's important in the child's life. It might be the child decides it's important that my parents are allowed to get to stay with me in hospital. Through this, we're able to build up a little bit of a picture of the child. What Matters to Me is carried throughout Yorkhill Hospital. All the staff in their own various wards carry this out with new patients as well. It's working very successfully within the hospital. We even have wall displays in each ward displaying some of the children's What Matters to Me.
So from Paisley, then we spread the concept of What Matters to Me to Yorkhill. Imagine that's going from a tiny little District General ward, paediatric ward, to the biggest paediatric hospital in Scotland. So that spread had its challenges, but we had champions. So we got champions here that were on board straight away. And what happened to actually make that spread work was stories. Stories were the thing. So stories helped with the spread of What Matters to Me. So then after that, we started talking about it at a more national scale, and Dumfries started doing What Matters to Me.
So we have developed the What Matters to Me in a way that suits Dumfries and Galloway. It's not easy just to take something that suits one area and slip it into another and think you're not going to face any challenges, because you are. But we've given the ownership to the play staff and to the auxiliaries who are leading on it so that they can develop it to really suit what suits Dumfries and Galloway and the patients that we see.
We've had visitors from Melbourne, Cincinnati, Belfast, Bristol, all over the place, people wanting to start going back and taking the idea of What Matters to Me with their patients. So it's went beyond paediatrics, the What Matters to Me, into adult care, hospice care, learning disability care.
It's still quite new in Dumfries and Galloway, and I think one of the challenges we will face is getting the doctors to become more involved in it and make it more multidisciplinary, because nurses like stories and we like to know our patients. But it's tailoring when you're sharing and spreading things and you're educating other people on what you would like to spread. You really have to tailor that to the audience you're talking to. So it's really important to give them the ownership over it, but making sure that they keep that core there, that we really want to know what matters to people and not just what is wrong with them.
It's asking what matters is the first stage, listening to what matters and then doing what matters are the next stages, and that's what we need to get right as well.